Hi guys, in this tutorial we are going to create a membrane brush in Adobe Illustrator. What is a brush? A brush is something that remains attached to your path and will follow it whatever changes you make to your path. You have all the default brushes in the brush palette over here. It's this little box with all the brushes inside, and so once you have selected a path, you see that you can just toggle and change apply all the brushes you want. So what we are going to create is this kind of brush that is very useful if you have to do some schemes for a life science paper. So this tutorial is basically for scientists who want to save time in preparing figures for scientific paper. So let's get started. We will just create a new file. I usually go with the A4 size because this is the size of basically of the PDF of the paper in which the image will be printed. So you just have the feeling that you get directly the image of the size that will be optimal for publishing. Of course, you can choose whatever size you want. It doesn't really matter because this is a vectorial program. It's unrelated to resolution. So, first thing we have to do, we have to create the monomeric instance that will be repeated as the brush follows the path. So we will create, in the case of the membrane, we will create the polar head. So we will just place a circle here. We will choose, let's say, a bit bigger here. We will go with some, I don't know, brownish colors. Okay, so for the fill, we will use something lighter, maybe even lighter. Okay, okay, I like that. And then we will create the carbon tails. Just a couple of lines will do it. You can select one line, and once you get the small arrow, you hit Alt and you duplicate it. Hit Shift and it will remain at the same height. Okay, very nice. We can maybe make it round, and we can you can use it straight. It will get you a more like graphic style membrane, but I will move a bit the tails. So I will do this. I will add an effect, which you can find it in distort and transform, and I will add a little twist. And the preview gives you the feeling that you want. You can, of course, increase this twist, decrease it, but the default 50 degrees is okay for me. So I will live with that. Then I select this lipid, I duplicate it, rotate it, you hit shift and you get defined angles, so you get a perfect 100 degrees, minus 100 degrees rotation. Put it here, and now I've got basically the basic shape that I needed. So I group it, I open my brush palette here, and I just drag this shape. I drag it, if I can take it out, okay. I drag it in here and release it when it gives you the plus icon, which means it's actually okay. I release it, and I will get this pop-up window which asks me what kind of brush I want to create. We go with the default scatter brush. Okay, I get another palette with all the settings of the brush. For now, I just have we'll call this. We'll give a title to this brush. I will call it membrane brownish brownish membrane. Just hit enter, and you get your brush here. You see it here? It's over here. Now I just applied it to my shape. Now this shape, you don't really need this shape anymore. I can delete it, and you see your brush is still here because it's already in the it's already in another kind of container. It's been defined as a brush. So basically now what we have to do is just play with the regulation and the setting of the brush to get it to get a feeling of a membrane that we like. So I just draw a shape, a cell shape or something like that, and I hit my my membrane brush. You see, it doesn't really look like a membrane yet. Looks like more like I don't know, bacteria. So double click on the icon of the brush, you get the palette of the settings, and we are going to play initially with the size at 10%. You of course you click the preview button, and 10% is going to already to be something that we like. You see that the lipid is much smaller. Now the spacing between the lipids, we take this really down and even more down, like 2%. I lost my mouse. Where's my mouse? Okay, no, where it is. Okay, the trackpad is going crazy. Okay, now, oh, is my mouse back? Okay, now you see that you have this kind of weird cylindric effect. This is because all the lipids are oriented in a page, in the system of the page. They are all vertical. So, but we can change this rotation and we can orient them normal to the path. And you see that now the membrane is getting something nicer. Okay. Now the dimension is maybe it's a bit too small. I will increase the okay. The spacing is also too thick. I would say 2% maybe. Yeah, much nicer. And then we have scattering and rotation. You see now this is a really perfect membrane. So we can actually scatter it a little bit. So like 1%. No, this is basically moving. Now this is something we don't want. What we want is to change a little bit of the size. So we hit the random size, the random choice for the size setting, and now it is choosing a random size between 12% and 100%. So we have this very artistic membrane actually, but we have to reduce the extremes, so we will bring it down to 40%. Now you see it's already you have already some movement that we like, and we will add some more movement with a random rotation, and we will say that maybe they can rotate between 3 degrees minus 3 degrees, or maybe we can go even higher, 5 minus 5. So you have okay, so I'm quite satisfied now. I just hit OK, apply it to the stroke, and now it's saved. This means that whatever path you actually create, it will going to apply to your shape. Okay. Now, what is nice of this membrane? It's nice that you don't have to you really don't have to go with all this like copy and pasting all these really small shapes and then group it and then then go crazy because you have something that you can that's really easy to handle. Okay, guys, I actually it came to my mind what actually the scatter setting is needed for in the case of our membrane brush, and it's basically needed because if you want to add a color, for instance, if this is a cell or a bacteria, you want to add a color to the interior, to the cytosol, for instance. So let's say you want to do it yellow or whatever color you want. You see, you get this strange effect because your membrane is actually perfectly perfectly intercepting your path. So what happens if you move the scatter? You will actually okay, too much. You will actually okay, not easy, minus 2%. You have to get the correct values, but you see that the center of the membrane is moving with respect to the path, so we have to move in the other direction. Let's try 6%. Okay, now it's already working. You see that now you have your nice color, which is not interactive, which is not actually clashing or doing that strange coloring half of the membrane. Okay, so this is basically what the scatter what the scatter tool will need will be needed to. I am like. Now, of course, you don't want to create a membrane each time you need a membrane. So you can actually save this brush. And so you hit this little icon here of the library, brush library menu, save brushes, and you already go in the directory in which Illustrator keeps the files of the brushes, brownish membrane, and you save it. And then you see that if you when you go to when you open a new file, you don't have you have the default brushes loaded in the brush palette. But if you hit the icon, you go down to user define, and then you have your saved brushes. And that's all. I hope this you liked it, and if you did, please subscribe and leave a comment.